I'm Gatsby.
His smile was one of those rare smiles that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life. It seemed to understand you and believe in you just as you would like to be understood and believed in.
Hi everyone! Do you think that wealth and riches can buy your way to having true happiness? Well, it can't, and you can see this through reading The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. By describing the way the characters utilize their wealth, Fitzgerald proves that wealth and riches alone cannot fulfill one's dreams and desires. It only imitates happiness, which prevents true happiness.
What you need to know is that this takes place in the 1920s and is narrated by Nick Carraway, a man who moves to New York, West Egg. He lives next to a rich man named Jay Gatsby. Gatsby is in love with his longtime dream, Daisy Buchanan, Carraway's cousin, and tries to win her over. Ultimately, Gatsby's dream is shattered when his tragic death reveals the futile results of the American dream. It is established early that Gatsby throws parties that are grand, lavish, and extraordinary, having full orchestras, swimmers, performers, servers, and anything you can think of.
As the novel dives deeper into the nature of Gatsby's party, the reader begins to see the flaws in the gatherings, in regard to their perfection and magnificence. At the end of Gatsby's party, Nick recalls when 50 feet away from Gatsby's door, a dozen headlights illuminated the bizarre and tumultuous scene. In the ditch beside the road, right side up but violently shorn of one wheel, rested a new coupe which had left Gatsby's drive not 2 minutes before. The car crash being the final end to Gatsby's party is a representation of how wealth is merely a facade of calculated perfection and cannot conceal the miserable reality of the wealthy's lives. Despite the extravagance of Gatsby's party, it still ended in chaos and tragedy. Through this, we can see how Fitzgerald aims to negatively symbolize wealth as the inauthenticity of the rich and unavoidable demise, which is paradoxical to how the rich value their wealth for its sweet escape and luxury. The man driving was incredibly intoxicated and careless, not only at the expense of his new and costly vehicle, but at the expense of his and someone else's life. The man's utter carelessness shows how far the wealthy can go to escape their sorrowful lives.
In order to prove that wealth and riches cannot fulfill one's dreams and desires, Fitzgerald first demonstrates how Gatsby uses his wealth to attempt to impress Daisy. When first creating the plan with Nick to rekindle their relationship, he ensures Daisy will be meeting him next door to his house so she can see all of his possessions. Jordan Baker explains he wants her to see his house, Fitzgerald 62. This shows how Gatsby is only utilizing his wealth to show off and attract Daisy and flaunt his wealth. This illustrates how showing off his materialistic possessions to achieve his idea of his dream, represented by Daisy, is one of the ways people in the world of the Great Gatsby use their money, and how it has no part in creating genuine happiness.
At Nick's house, they had a real and genuine reconnection, as shown on page 89, when it says, Daisy's face was smeared with tears, and when I came in, she jumped up and began wiping it with her handkerchief before a mirror. But there was a change in Gatsby that was simply confounding. He literally glowed. Without a word or gesture of exultation, a new well-being radiated from him and filled the little room.
Despite Gatsby using his wealth to make Nick's simple cottage more lavish and extravagant for Daisy, as shown on page 65, these expenses did not add anything to the event. The importance of this event came from Gatsby's character himself, not from his money.
This goes on to show that they were able to revive their relationship sincerely. In comparison, after one of Gatsby's grand parties, he told Nick, referring to Daisy, she didn't like it. She didn't have a good time, on page 106. When comparing the two, it's clear that although the party was expensive, it didn't win Daisy over like their meeting at Nick's house did, showing that Gatsby's wealth and riches could not achieve love and happiness and win Daisy over like he had hoped earlier. It seems like Gatsby's wealth should be able to help him win Daisy over, however, it actually prevents it. Gatsby's dream was always to be wealthy, as shown during his younger days when he worked for a rich man and where he learned to love the rich lifestyle.
The thing is, Gatsby achieving wealth led him to believe that he could also achieve his dream life with Daisy.
Obviously, this is completely unrealistic, since Daisy has been married to Tom for years, and they even have a child together. Gatsby is so engrossed in his dream to be with Daisy that he is blindsided from reality and what is standing right in front of him.
In a conversation between Nick and Gatsby on page 83, Gatsby explains to Nick his plan to try to get Daisy back and get her to leave Tom and move away with him. Nick tells Gatsby that this is unrealistic and that he cannot relive the past 3 years, and Gatsby replies with, "Well, of course you can."
You can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past.
No. Why, of course you can.
This just feeds into how delusional Gatsby truly is about achieving his dreams, and thinks that just because he was able to get all of his wealth that he was once his dream when he was younger, he can achieve his dream of being with Daisy again. But this is just unrealistic because this is not reality, because she is with Tom.
The ultimate takeaway is this applies to everybody, and anybody can be blinded by wealth, not only Gatsby and his partygoers. But wealth, riches, and money is not equal to fulfillment, real relationships, and happiness like some may believe. Wealth fools one into thinking that they have achieved the dream and that they have reached their green light. So with this wealth, they continue living a lie, a delusion that they have achieved what they want, but they haven't, and they never will. Since wealth imitates fulfillment, those content with wealth will never achieve their dreams and continue to lead unsustainable lives with insincere relationships and never achieve their dreams, since they truly believe they already have.